Hong Kong was a strange city. It was quite small, but it felt like such a big city. While it was busy and rich, there were also many poor people, including numerous homeless people wandering the streets. I'd hoped to go to America, but I ended up being kidnapped and brought to Hong Kong. I didn't have any money on me. I didn't know if I could even survive here, not to mention go to America. I began to look at the hiring flyers on the walls. Teamsters, engineers, masseurs. A lot of places were hiring, but I didn't know how to do any of those jobs. But one day I saw that there was a nightclub looking for a pop singer. The club was called Melody Hall. It sat in the middle of the most popular location on Portland Street in Mongkok. The club was huge and the guests were all dressed like royalty. Everyone there came to audition for the job was sitting in the lobby waiting for their turn. Several middle-aged men were sitting below the stage, looking terribly bored. I chose to sing one of my favorite songs when it was my turn. And welcome to Some Kind of Fox content, and welcome back to Will a Wonderful World, the game where we play as a god tasked with rearranging the sequence of situations that people find themselves in to hopefully give them a better outcome. 'Twas a folk song from my hometown. It's called Little Lamb Billy. After my parents had passed away, my brother and I were soon sent to the orphanage. For a long time afterwards, Carlos seemed to have shut down entirely. He could sit there for an entire day without saying a single word. He was only 3. There was nothing near the orphanage but hills and mountains. I liked to take him hiking and would talk to him on top of the mountain or sing to him. We would stay there for a whole day sometimes. However, he still wasn't talking. One day when I was singing, I suddenly thought to myself, was this going to last forever? Would Carlos never ever talk to me again? I had to stop the song. I couldn't stop myself from thinking depressing thoughts. I cried. Why are you crying, Alicia? Carlos was pulling on my arm and I saw him looking at me with his clear eyes. That day, he had finally returned to me. The song I'd been singing that day was Little Lamb Billy. I stood in front of the elevator. I was thinking about the song that I had just sang and the days when we had lived in the orphanage. I couldn't help but hum the song again. I felt a sudden tap on my shoulder. It was one of the men who had been sitting below the stage earlier. Miss, there's something that you should know here. Your microphone was off. We were gonna have to sing again. No, his eyes were almost shut as he smiled at me. It is quite a hassle to hire a foreigner like you who has no papers. You won't be able to find another job in all of Hong Kong. However, I think you are really terrific. I would love to hire you as long as you... As he was speaking, his hand was moving down from my shoulder along my back, and it kept moving down even further. Yuck. I was taken aback and tried to move away, but he grabbed my wrist. I had never been in a situation like this in my entire life. I was horrified. I tried to shake him off with all my strength. I scratched his face with my nails, leaving a red mark. He felt his face with his hand as I was running away. You ungrateful little woman. You people. Go grab her. I ran into a small alley and hid behind a dumpster. After what seems to be an eternity, I could no longer hear the people who were running after me. I fell to the ground. I felt violated and ashamed, No. You were violated. Tears were rushing out of my eyes as if all of my suffering had come back to haunt me. Carlos, I miss you so much. Alicia. Maybe there's a gun in the other story that we can give to Alicia. Fix her little conundrum here. I'd been assigned here for a week. For the past few days, I've been trying to find an opportunity to write my transfer application and submit it to Lieutenant Kang. But instead, I grabbed my rock guitar and jammed all day. Yet every time when I sat down and tried to fill out the form, Lieutenant Kang would throw a bunch of paperwork at me and make me file them. It was almost like he knew what I was up to. I put the guitar down. Silence ensued. None of this made any sense. Any sense at all? As a police officer, shouldn't I be patrolling the city to stop crimes and helping people with everything I had? Even be ready to sacrifice myself for justice at a moment's notice. But this was so boring. Thank God I could still sometimes chat with Officer Min Yun, a more senior officer in Unit 4, or I would have exploded out of boredom by now. Usually at this point, Min Yun would say, I'll lend you a grenade, then... Oh, maybe we can blow up the other person there. Min Yun liked making these kinds of morbid firearms jokes, although I rarely found them funny. Life sucked. I poured myself another glass and chugged it. I was at a bar called Crash, where I would also come whenever I was feeling down. Every day after midnight, the bar would turn into a carnival. But around sunset, the atmosphere here was actually really nice, and it was the best time to come here and drink alone. I was sitting by the window and staring at the street blankly. Some words from the conversation at the next table suddenly caught my attention. A bald man in a Hawaiian shirt raised his bottle and said, "Bring me those dinosaur eggs." If you get that reference, kudos to you. Bro, have you heard about what happened to Group Gangmon a few days ago? His buddy, who was wearing a pair of beach shorts and sporting the most ridiculous hairstyle, laughed. Of course, it's been heard all over our group, Yu Xiong. Again, apologies for mispronouncing. That was really brutal for them to blow off half the head of Choi Yohan's son. Only Kang Bak-ya has the balls to do that. My ears perked up when I heard Lieutenant Kang's name out of the blue like that. The bald man continued. I think it was pretty rad, actually. It was done with style. That bastard was always so fucking annoying. He would come to our turf all of the time, looking for trouble just because his good old daddy. The crazy-haired guy interrupted him. Shut the fuck up, you idiot. Don't let anyone hear you say that. You're gonna get Boss Joe into trouble. The bald man immediately concurred. Oh, sure. By the way, I've also heard that Choi Yohan is setting up a trap for Kang Bak-ya! Was that quiet enough? It's going to be epic. The crazy-haired guy sounded surprised, and also annoyed that the hint of keeping it low was not taken aboard. Watch it. Don't get so close to me. Wait, what do you mean by setting up a trap? The bald man explained. I heard that they had something on Kang Bak-ya and they'll use it to force him to turn himself over. You can guess what they're going to do to him next. I think it is supposed to be going down tonight over at the warehouse by the port. The crazy-head guy didn't seem like he was buying it. Really? You think that would work? Kang was tough enough to take out a whole team on his own. The bald man got very excited. We'll find out. Apparently they've prepared barrels and concrete, and I've heard something about some other big surprise. Anyway, no matter which side loses, our boss Joe will be happy either way. I bet he's been looking forward to this day for a long time. Ha. I sobered up completely. I quickly checked my cell phone. It was 9 p.m. Now that I thought about it, Lieutenant Kang had gotten a delivery earlier today, and he had left the office soon afterwards. Did the delivery have anything to do with the trap? I knew I didn't quite get along with Lieutenant Kang, especially after our little spa day. But no matter what, he was on the side of justice. Now that I knew he was in danger, there was no way I could just sit aside and let it happen. I sneaked into the bathroom and immediately called the lieutenant. Nobody picked up. I then called the police station. Someone told me that nobody from Unit 4 was available. I had a really bad feeling. If I didn't get in touch with the lieutenant as soon as possible, the door opened and a person walked out. My reaction had been slowed down because of the alcohol. The young man who had just come out of the stall grabbed me by my hair and slammed me into the mirror above the sinks. Clink! The mirror was smashed and there was broken glass all over the ground. Just before I passed out, I heard someone say, "You dirty cop, are you trying to snitch on our own turf? Screw you!" When I woke up, I found myself in a big empty warehouse. The gate was locked from the outside. I could see the evening stars through the window high above the wall. Oh man, how long had I been out for? Was Lieutenant Kang already at the port? Okay, how are we gonna fix anything here? Like that? Is it really that simple? Why can't I give the grenade to the other person? I turned around. It was Officer Min Yun. Thank God you're here! Jesus! Before I could finish my sentence, the young man who had just come to sneak up behind me, he grabbed me by the hair and slapped into the sinks. Why? Where's Min Yun in all of this? Wait, is Min Yun part of the gang? I could still see Officer Min Yun out of the corner of my eyes. He was standing in the bathroom next to me and he just stared at me without any expression on his face. When I woke up, I found myself in a big empty warehouse. Gate was okay. Is Officer Min Yun a crooked cop? Why hadn't he helped me? I reached into my pocket hoping to check the time on my phone, but it wasn't on me. It had probably been taken away by someone. Damn it! Was Lieutenant Kang already at the port? A few days later, I came back to Melody Hall. They had put a list of people who had been hired up at the entrance. My name wasn't on it. I think you dodged a bullet, to be honest. I hadn't eaten anything in 2 days. My stomach didn't even have the energy to rumble anymore. I dragged my drained body with me, wandering along the Hong Kong streets like a ghost and kept looking for a job. Okay, I just want to try this. I mean, there are two more options, right? It is either this or the door and a person walked out over on her side, right? I just wanted her to have a gun so she could kill the creep. He snatched the phone out of my hand. I was about to take it back when I felt my hair get pulled from behind along with something sharp and cold on my neck. Don't move. Don't make any sounds, otherwise you know the deal. The voice sounded extremely familiar, but I couldn't place it. They blindfolded me and I felt myself being led outside the bar. I felt myself being thrown into a vehicle. I felt myself passing out as soon as I smelled something strange. I felt myself waking up and I found myself lying in a... pissums. So what if that guy over there never comes out of the stall? Is that it? This is not it. So it can only be this. There we go, fixed it. Officer Min, thank God you're here, sir. Min Yun seemed shocked after I told him about what I have just heard outside. He was horrified that his evil schemes had been laid bare. He said the lieutenant might still be at his own place. Who knows? I wasn't too far from here. We should hurry over and see if we could catch him in time, I said to the crooked cop. With Min Yun leading the way, we were running as fast as we could towards Lieutenant Kang's home. Then we came across a small dark alley without any lights. Minion seemed to be out of breath and he slowed down. He pointed at the 2-story apartment building not too far in front of us and told me that was Lieutenant's building. I decided to keep going ahead, screw Minion. But before I could run more than a few steps, I suddenly felt a sharp pain in the back of my head. I felt dizzy and lost my balance. I couldn't even see the road anymore. I fell to the ground, blacked out. When I woke up, it was almost daylight. Officer Minion was lying next to me. Neither of us seems to have our wallets. Oh man, how could this happen to me? Was Lieutenant Kang already? Someone usually tall had just walked out the elevator wearing an even more unusual ensemble. A pair of red high heels, a pair of tight black leather pants, a lavish fur coat. I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. I walked past this person into the elevator and pressed the button for the first floor. The person kept walking into the lobby. It got better, but still not good. There are still more we can try, because we could, do this. What about this? What about this? What about this? It was one of the men who had been sitting below the stage earlier. We have to hear this creep talk again. Ugh. Shut it, I don't even want to read it. I have a gag reflex and it's triggered by creeps. Ugh. As he was speaking, I looked to the lobby, but I could no longer see the person who had just come out of the elevator. No one could help me now! I was taken aback and... we messed up. Other way. No, don't want to read it. He... with the... I checked the time again. It was already 9:30 p.m. It wasn't safe to go straight to the port, as I didn't know how many people the enemy had. I hadn't received my weapon yet, as this was only my first week. It wouldn't be terribly useful for me personally, but it would still be better than nothing. I should at least go back to the station and check out a gun. Perhaps I could even find some backup. I hope I could make it in time. I left the bar. A cold breeze blew over my face. I shuddered and felt myself sobering up a little more. I hailed a cab. I kept urging the driver to speed up. In the end, it took me 30 minutes to arrive rather than the usual 60. Oh, you have a gag reflex to the creep too. As soon as I opened the door, I threw up all over the ground. The old driver looked at me emotionlessly and handed me the bill and a napkin. Oh, that's nice. I just ran through 3 red lights for you. I'll give you a discount for being a police officer. Okay, well, leave it to me to try every freaking iteration of possible outcome before eventually arriving at the one that we want. God, I'm bad at being a god. Stop! Stop with this creep, I don't want to hear about him. It's quite a hassle, you're quite a hassle. Ah! There we go. I scratched his face with the leaving red mark with his face, but then this and then you. Hey, that was embarrassing. Someone who had just gone out the elevator stood in front of me. A pair of red high heels, a pair of tight black leather pants, a lavish fur coat. If it weren't for the voice, no one would have guessed that it was a man wearing them if they saw them from behind. For the manager of Melody Hall to dare do something like this in public, what would you or Big Boss say if he heard about this? Huh? Fine, just not my lucky date. God, I'm having a visceral reaction. Listen. What do you mean it's not your lucky day? People aren't a number in a lottery. The manager shot me a stern look, turned around and walked back into the lobby. I did manage to find a gun, so I shot him in his face! The cross-dressing man turned to me, smiling wildly. Hello, pretty little girl. That doesn't sound creepy at all, given what I've just been through. Would you like to go get a drink at my place? God fucking damn it, from one to the other. How's that an S rank? Like, I get that we were saved from the situation, but, you know, is this thing on? Am I the one crazy here? Hello? Jesus, well, S ranks, we got it. Yay, whoop-de-doo. Well, where are we now? Cough. Deep breath. You ask me how deeply I love you. What? Is it because I'm recording this on Valentine's Day? What the fuck are you doing? I'm singing! Ha, I didn't know you sing. What's the name of the song? The moon represents my heart. Huh. How does she still know this song? I thought I had. You know, like the Men in Black with their little thingy that then the memories go bye-bye. What are you mumbling about? I mean, of course, this song, everyone in China knows this song. I don't know this song. Why are you suddenly in the mood to sing? When I read Alicia's story about her singing, all of a sudden a lot of music just popped into my head out of nowhere. So I was thinking, maybe I was a singer before I died. Before you died? I've heard stories of how some people become gods when they die with unfulfilled wishes. Is that true? Huh. That must be why I know these songs, right? Aren't those usually ghost stories? The ghost stories, they're not god stories. I know they are both a G word, but jeez. Although, here's my thinking, right? If that had been the case, wouldn't my power have something to do with singing? I don't know what you're on about. What do you mean? For example, what if my singing has healing powers? Or maybe my song can bring peace to people at war? Jesus fucking Christ, this woman. We've been alive for a long time. There's nothing strange about us knowing some songs. And no, you don't have healing powers just because you can sing. Gods are supposed to know everything. If it weren't for your memory loss, I'm sure you would remember even more. Because that's how memory loss works, is that if you don't have it, you remember more. Well, I suppose that makes sense. I guess I was never a singer. Now I just feel sad. God damn it, you ruined the mood. Get out of here, dog. I didn't know you wanted to be a singer so much. I was just trying... Oh. Look, I made you some osmanthus cake. Wow! Screw being sad, now I got cake. Nothing more powerful than sweets, huh? What the fuck am I clicking? I'm clicking out of the game, sorry. Enjoy the cake. Remember to do your work after you finish your snack. Forget about singing. I'll see you later. Wait! I haven't heard you sing yet. We need to test everyone's singing ability. There's gotta be someone out there with the capability of like singing like a Backstreet Boys music song and then people are healed. Before you go, sing me something. What is the song? Pick me up before you go. And then I'm gonna go out and I don't know. I will not. You're my servant. You cannot say. Let me try that again, because I have to read it as it is written.
You're my servant. You cannot say no to my request. Pretty please, Evu.
No, no, and more no. Shove the cake in your face, rearrange the letters, and we can get on with our days. As your servant, my duty is to supervise your work, and saying no to you is one of my rights. Well then, what if I serve you some tea? Actually, sounds lovely. I made the tea. How about I wash your feet? I just washed them myself, thank you. Well, would you like me to comb your hair? What would you like to hear? Name it. Your face looks almost twisted, Jesus. Well, let me think. Is this important? Like, is this like a choice matters game? So if I pick this, then all of a sudden, like, storyline is blocked out? Well, I want... wait, maybe. Because I was about to say I want to hear him sing the song that I was doing. But maybe we should be to chuckity-chuck the memory train, right? Well, honey, you can have honey in cake and you can have honey in tea. These are all songs of Teresa Teng. Why wouldn't you pick something more exciting, more hardcore? To be fair, you liked her music ever since you were little. Since I was little? I don't remember that. Oh no, shit. I mean, you have always liked her music ever since you were just as you are right now, because you have never been anything else. Anyway, I happen to know this one. Listen up, I'm going to sing now. As sweet as honey, your smile is as sweet as honey. Just like how the flowers bloom in the spring breeze. Why is this song so long? Your smile is so familiar to me, but I can't remember from where. Oh, it's from my dreams. What do you think? I've been curious. Why is it that the only sound we make when we talk is a single beep? Even the tone is always the same. Even when we're singing, it was nothing more than some rhythmic beeping. You're only now noticing? Oh my god. Well, we're gods after all. Not humans. We have our own unique qualities. We should focus on them. Don't mind the beeping. Speaking of which, how's work been recently? Oh, it's been going pretty well. My only complaint is that there are so many letters. I've been pulling a lot of all-nighters to finish them. You don't... Let's take it from the top. You don't have to work that hard. We are not on the same timeline as the humans. It doesn't really matter to them when we handle their letters. The most important thing about being a god is to enjoy yourself. That's okay, I'm enjoying myself. It feels so great to be able to help people. I am really happy. Okay, then, well, as long as you're happy, oh, by the way, haven't we forgotten about something important, speaking about memory loss, huh? What important thing? Comb. Oh, would you look at the time? There are new letters here. I need to start working. I knew it. Okay. There's 3 letters. If I... No. No. I see where this is going. We're not doing 3 letters at the same time. I can barely manage 2, let alone just 1. VR rules. Sounds interesting. Special Operation Midnight.
Dios, ¿qué hice mal?
Jack. Hang on. Okay, so those 2 are tied together. It sounds like we're gonna be dabbling into VR here. Wait! I just noticed that there's a cat on the letter. That means demons. This is the first time I have ever seen something like this. Oh, this must be a doodle that Jimmy sketched on the letter. If the doodle is very obvious, it might show up on the letters we receive. So what is this that he drew? I think it's a cartoon cat called Sir Spotty. It was pretty famous in their world. We also have it in our dictionary. Well, I didn't know he was a painter too. That's quite impressive. Maybe he can heal people with his paintings. Something like this barely qualifies him as a painter. Today was Sunday. Can I do something about the cat? I climbed out of bed a lot earlier than usual. Well, then it isn't Sunday. I don't care what you say. I wanted to try my brand new VR game before Rocky woke up. VR. In the 60s? Oh. They had VR in the 80s? Excuse me? Why was I playing Duke Nukem in 2D? If they had VR by that time. Ah, well, there you go. There's some story about VR. Can I know about the cat? Nope, can't know about the cat. Oh, I forgot to check the people. God, I said I would do that and then I forgot all about it. Okay, well, we'll do this letter here and then we'll look at the people. There are all kinds of games available now. FPS, dancing games, even X-rated ones. Now, hold on just a second here. The VR gear was the big thing these days, and the good ones were all so expensive. The one I got cost almost 10 grand. If I hadn't told my dad that I was buying this for research purposes, for science, which technically wasn't entirely untrue, but the experiments that I was conducting was experimenting with my own sexuality. There was no way he would have bought it for me. I put the gear on. It was more like a helmet, really. It was quite heavy. However, wow, it did feel quite realistic. It was as if my body had entered the virtual world. I chose a different position. That felt so good. Oh god. Is he jerking off right now? I tried all of the tricks that I could. I was exhausted. I took off the gear and realized that Rocky had been up. He was wearing the smart glasses that I had bought him a while ago and was looking right in my direction. My eyes widened in shock when I noticed the recording light blinking on the glasses. Rocky, what are you doing here? I was, you know, experimenting. The way you were playing, it looked kind of funny, so I decided to keep it for posterity. Record my ass! The automatic streaming option was on. Fuck, I'm live on Twitch right now. Wait, what? Streaming? I hurried over to my computer, logged into the streaming website and checked my channel. Oh my god. Everything had been broadcast. There'd been over 5 million viewers. Is that how I'm gonna get views? And it went straight to the top of the rankings. Huh. The commenters had gone berserk. Everyone was screaming pervert, tent in the pan. Somebody even said they would dox me. Ah, well. I was so screwed. Jimmy. I don't know how we're gonna fix that one. Are we gonna switch games? Okay, well, let's take a quick look. Here's a neighbor with, you can see the relationships, and then at 35, he had a busy year at 35. And then we have, what's her face? And she liked tennis, chocolate milk, Sir Spotty stuffed doll. That cat is really popular. And then we got this guy that just, I guess, you know, And then, is this Alicia? No, this is not Alicia. What was his name? Can't remember. Carlos. Okay. And the new one here. And notice one thing here, just to emphasize my point. Notice how noble is in quotation. Can't freaking be trusted, this one. Look how scurvy he's looking. He's like, I'm already figuring out 17 ways to kill you. And then we got he with the policeman and the justice and the watching of Mr. Kang's Ronald McDonald's spicy burger. Yeah. Oh, we're back here. Okay. You know what, screw it. Let's go in. Let's figure out how the frick those two are gonna tie in together. 11 p.m. I decided to give my special operation a new nickname, because midnight is not 11 p.m. Warehouse 23, Port of Busan. The warehouse was half full. There was an asphalt barrel in the middle of it that didn't seem to belong there, which I can totally tell. I walked towards it to check its contents. I guess you could say it had very concrete content. As I had suspected, it wasn't filled with asphalt. A person had been stuffed inside. It was a very muscular man. He was barely breathing, but damn, he was muscular. This morning at work, I had received an express delivery. There was nothing but a photo in the envelope, with a time and location written on its back. The same barrel was in the center of the photo. It was at the exact same spot that I was looking at right now with my own eyes. Then I heard scurrying footsteps near the gate of the warehouse and then clinking sounds of guns. Warehouse 23 belonged to the Musun gang. It could not have been more obvious that this was a trap set up for me by Choi Johan. Yet, I had to come. 20 minutes later, the muscular man and I were tied together, sitting on the ground with our backs against each other. The two guards who were... Am I gonna give him the VR headset? Like, what am I gonna do about that? The two guards who were in charge of watching us had been waiting for their replacement, but they were so sleepy that they could barely keep their eyes open. Boy, do I have a solution for you! Hentai games on a VR headset. It was pretty late after all. Anyone who had to watch two middle-aged men like us would get sleepy. I quietly cut the rope with the razor blade glued to my sleeve while the guards were dozing off. No shot you thought that far. Then I grabbed the Glock 43, and that's a gun. A G43. Doesn't really roll off the tongue. Okay, well, for the favorites of undercover detectives and private security officers that I had hidden in my pant leg and covered it with my palms. Is that a gun in your pocket, or are you just an undercover cop? After years of police work around here, I knew every single warehouse at this port like the back of my hand. All of the warehouse from number 15 to number 25 were large-sized ones. They were usually filled with lots of huge cargo containers. If there were some reinforcements outside to distract them, I should be able to defend myself inside, even with only 6 bullets. They were not the only ones waiting for their prey tonight. This was all part of my plan. There was a shoddy clock on the wall of the warehouse. It made a ticking noise every time a hand moved. The hour hand was almost on 12. Time for Operation Midnight. And the minute hand was 10 minutes away from it. I gave the muscular man a signal in his palm. behind my back and waited patiently. A signal in his palm. Huh. I handed the gun to him. So we are giving up the weapon to a complete stranger. Cool. Lots of noises were coming from outside of the warehouse. It sounded like a lot of people and cars. At the same moment, the minute hand also hit 12. We both stood up and ran towards the back of the warehouse. However, I didn't expect the muscular man to suddenly trip and fall after only a few steps. His legs were presumably numb and stiff after being crammed up for so long. Those two guards were wide awake now. Whoops. Multiple gunshots echoed inside the warehouse. They never intended to let us get out of here alive, and there was certainly no reason to hold back anymore. And then I saw holes exploding all over the muscular man's body right in front of me. Fuck you all, you monsters, bastard motherfuckers. Go to hell. Eternally demonetized, but there we go. I turned around and raised my gun. In the chaos, a bullet hit my thigh. From their gun or yours? Suddenly, all the other bullets still flying in the air seemed to be moving in slow motion. They were so slow that I could even see their rotation and the vapor trails after them. I did a Matrix move, and I dodged all of them. I realized that he had woken up. When I woke up, I was lying in a cheap motel somewhere. I'd changed into some clean clothes. Wait, what is going on right now? There was a half-eaten sandwich and a glass of orange juice on the nightstand next to my bed. I opened my left fist. As expected, there was a note with a message that looked like it had been written by a child. These new clothes cost 50,000. I survived. But Choi Yo-han had got what he wanted too. Again. I had lost an important person in my life. Again. Kangbakya. So, somehow I'm gonna use something from Hentai VR to fix this. Ha! Oh, what if we change positions first? And what if we make the man, the muscular man, feel so good? No, handing the gun to him, that feels so good. Yes! There we go, first try. Perhaps they were desperate to try to stay awake. The two guards even started watching porn together on their phone. I know we're dealing with a lot of creeps in this one, but is that something you do? Like, I could understand, like, funny cat videos, but, like... Down in the comment, be honest, have you ever been like, hey, Jerry? Come over here, I got some porn to show you. Just in case our legs were too stiff to run, we also watched the porn. The muscular man and I quietly shifted around a bit to loosen up our legs. Lots of noises were coming from outside the warehouse. Yeah. And when we busted up. By the time the two guards noticed we were gone, we were already taking cover behind the cargo containers. Any time now, just a little longer. The guards with a gun was walking towards the back of the warehouse and the other one was behind him. I needed to stall a little longer. We couldn't let them come any closer. Huh? I'm having a stroke from all of this. The muscular man raised the gun that I had given to him. The first shot hit the shelf near the guards. He had now given away our location and wasted a bullet. Cool. Then he shot the ground. I had second thoughts about why I gave him the gun. After we ran out of bullets, we were captured. That was a mistake. I was counting on him to defend himself with the gun. I should have kept it for myself. Left. Right. Right. Left. Crap. I was going to throw up. I couldn't hold it anymore. I pulled off the VR gear and tossed it onto the bed. I held my hand to my chest and tried to breathe in some fresh air before I realized there was none in my room. Rocky was already awake. He was sitting over on his side, munching on his chips, which were probably his breakfast. He kept staring at me. Did you know you look like an idiot right now? I walked over and vomited into his bag of chips. That's my business. Mind your own. The bag wasn't big enough for the spicy pot dinner I had last night. What the fuck is this episode? I'm so sorry to anyone watching. God, I'm gonna be held liable for someone's lost sanity at some point if I keep this up. It was soon filled with my own vomit, not his, because he didn't vomit, I did. The rest of it spilled onto Rocky. He was in so much shock that he did not even scream. You know, this is not bad. Rank A. What if you vomit on him and then give him a gun? How about that? Watching porn, just in case, with the stiff of the legs. Lots of noise from the outside, but then with the 12 o'clock, and then we were gone. This time he didn't get the gun any time now, just a little bit longer. Hold on, the guard with a gun walking towards the warehouse. I needed to stall a little longer. I couldn't let them come any closer. I stared at their stretched shadows on the ground. I had the barrel of my gun peeking out from behind the containers. I pulled the trigger. My first shot hit the right hand of the guard in front. Seeing the partner hurt and screaming in pain, the other guard stopped moving towards us out of fear. Then I played the flute. And, okay, it's the Horn of Gondor, I don't know. And then the garage gate slowly opened. They were here! Right on time! This game was so nauseating. I made the right decision to have my partner carry the gun. I was so wise. But the game felt super boring if you weren't actually shooting something. I took the 10 grand helmet off and threw it back into the drawer. Rocky was still snoring in his bed. He had probably stayed up last night again for a soccer game or something, I don't know. Never mind him, I was going to head out and roam the streets now. I put on the smart glasses that I had bought a while ago and snuck out of the school into the real 3-dimensional world. And thus, we did it. More S ranks. You're welcome. And more mail. God damn it.
나도 좀 도와줘요.
Oh, now you need a gun.
젠장. 어떻게 이럴 수가.
Now it's 12:05. Okay, well, that's gonna be all I have time for in this episode, and all I have sanity for. Jesus Christ, this episode went somewhere. In the next one, we're gonna help Alicia with Jack. We're gonna help Chang Yong-min with a gun, and Kang Bak-ya with 12:05. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Alright, I'm out.